Hey guys, Evan here with Malevolent Gaming. Hope everyone's doing well. So we wanted to start a new series, you might call it, of videos that we're going to do. They're not quite going to be deck profiles. I know pretty much what you guys are used to seeing from us is just straight deck profiles, and that's it. Just here's my, here are the cards I play, take it or leave it. We want to switch that up a little bit. What I want to start doing from time to time, I want to start profiling some of the archetypes and cards that haven't really been showcased, have kind of been looked over in sets. Talking about the newest set that just came out, Rise of the Duelist. Everyone knows what Dragma does. Everyone knows the cards like Droplets, Triple Tactics, all that kind of stuff. But there are certain cards, and specifically an archetype in this set that nobody really knows about, nobody's talking about it. And that is this one right here. That is Melfi. So the reason I want to talk about this isn't because I'm going to tell you it's broken or tier 0 or anything like that. It's actually the opposite. I want to take archetypes and cards that nobody's talked about and just kind of dive into how they work, their strengths, their weaknesses. And this is kind of one of those archetypes that a lot of people know it's not meta. They know it's not particularly good, but that's just kind of a word of mouth thing. People don't really know why, because they don't know what the cards do. So that's what I want to jump into with this kind of series we're going to start doing. I'm going to explain what this deck does, strengths, weaknesses, good matchups, bad matchups, all that. And then also just at the end, I'll just show you a quick run through of what I've been playing with recently. So again, Melfi, new archetype, Rise of the Duelist. So they are all Earth Beast monsters. And they've all got the same basic effect, which is on your end phase, you can special summon them from your hand. Simple enough. And then on your opponent's turn, when they normal or special summon a monster, you can bounce them to your hand, and they all have different effects. This one, Puppy, is the best one in my opinion. When it bounces to your hand, you can special summon a level 2 or lower beast from your deck. You'll see one of the cards that I end up playing that I'll show you it's got some pretty good synergy with it. This guy, when he bounces, you search any beast from deck to hand. No level restriction, so just in general, just a very good searcher. This guy, he bounces to hand, and then you can special summon a beast with no level restriction from your hand. So this guy, I was playing it at 1, again, we'll get into that later, but out of these ones, this guy's the worst in my opinion. The special summoning is good, searching is good. There's another one that I wasn't playing called Melfi Pony. That one adds from graveyard to hand. So that one's okay. But those are the monsters that we have for this archetype. They've got a vanilla too, but I'm not playing it. So this is the trap that they've got so far called Melfi Playhouse. This guy, you detach a number of materials from Beast XYZ monsters you control, and then you can basically compulse that many monsters that your opponent controls. And then there's an additional effect where your monsters gain 500 attack for each monster that was detached. But this card, in my opinion, not too good, especially not compared to the monsters. It's really mediocre. All the testing that I played, I either didn't see it and didn't care, or I would see it and it just didn't really come in handy. So very, very mediocre. And then for the spells, we've got a couple of different spells for this archetype. We've got Tag and Hide and Seek. So Tag is just a quick play Monster Reborn. Pretty solid, honestly. I think it's a good card. And then Hide and Seek, this is all the testing I've done. This is one of my favorite cards. So the first time one of your beast monsters would be destroyed by a card effect, it's not destroyed. And then you can also take 3 beast monsters with different names in your graveyard, shuffle them back into the deck and draw a card. So just, it's overall a solid card. It helps you maintain, card advantage. It's really nice. That's all the main deck stuff that this archetype's gotten. They've gotten a couple of extra deck monsters. The Mom and Melfi of the Forest. This card, I will just say right out the gate, honestly isn't very good. You can attach a number of materials to it, and it gains effects based on the number of materials. Can be destroyed by battle, bounces, or it doesn't bounce, it inflicts battle damage to equal to the attack of the monster at battles. It's honestly really, really underwhelming. When I first read it, I thought it would have more utility and be really cool in certain moments, but I never found any moments where I actually wanted to make this. This card just isn't very good in my opinion. This one, on the other hand, is pretty solid. So you detach a material, search any Melfi card So depending on what you're looking for, if you wanted to special summon at the end of the turn, shuffle monsters back and draw, it's got utility for all that. And then it has a second effect that when a Melfi monster that you control returns to the hand, you can target an opponent's monster, negate its effects, and it can't attack while it's face up on the field. So this one definitely has more utility than this guy. I was playing 2 and 1 of this, and honestly, going forward, I just wouldn't even play this. This just isn't good and it never really comes up. This is overall a pretty solid card. One thing to keep in mind, this is the first wave of support for this archetype, assuming that more comes along. And it's definitely not meta. You know, again, we said that at the very beginning of the video. Definitely in the rogue category, but it's very solid. If you're looking for a fun deck to play against friends, that's relatively cheap, then yeah, I could see, you know, you picking this up. I've had fun with it. You know, a lot of the matches that I played with this, honestly, were against meta decks and I lost. But, you know, I could get a game in here and there just because the basic interruption and basic things that the deck can do, because it does spam a lot of beast type monsters. You can make Nat Beast really easy with this because you're playing, obviously, you know, Beast, Earth Beasts, but you're playing a lot of older Beast cards, you know, Obedient School, Rescue Cat, you know, just cards like that. So, yeah, what do you think, Luis? What do you want to ask me?
All right, so I know that it's a new archetype, but are you able to play older cards with the deck?
Yeah.
And so, what are the older cards that make this deck better?
Sure. So as I just mentioned, you know, Obedient Schooled is one. If you've played, you know, Raccoons, you know, that old deck, or anything like that, you're gonna recognize this card. If you control no monsters, special summon 3 level 2 or lower beasts from your deck, but you can't special summon anything except for beasts the rest of this turn. Very good card, you know, pretty old card too. We've also got Rescue Cat, you know, pretty standard for any, you know, any kind of deck that falls into this category. One of the newer-ish ones I played, you know, Amazoness Baby Tiger. This one lets you, brings itself back from grave when you special summon one. I play 3 of that, so just constantly, you pretty much have a free rank 2 every turn that you play this.
So what kind of board can you end on if you open Obedient School and Rescue Cat?
So, I mean, that would kind of depend on your matchup, what you're playing, but if you're
just blind comboing against
You're just blind comboing. If it were me, honestly, I would end up probably with a Nat Beast, and then this guy in defense, and then search out. You'd want to use his effect to search out Puppy, and then at the end phase, Puppy's going to special summon, and then when your opponent normal or special summons, you can bounce this back to hand, and then you're going to bring this guy out. And this guy's effect, when he's special summoned by a beast type monster, you can target a card on the field and pop it. And to make that just a little better, if you have this guy, which a lot of people have not seen before, he's relatively new. This guy, if you have him in your hand, you can activate this quick effect. You target a monster, special summon, and immediately after you can synchro summon. And so you would make Herald of the Archetype. And so, again, this isn't exactly a crazy, you know, like board that no one can break through. You can definitely play through it. This is not a Nat Beast format, so this isn't exactly as impactful as it would have been, you know, in previous years, previous formats. But I would say for a rogue deck that nobody knows what it does, it's actually not bad. And it's, you know, like I said, I've had a lot of fun playing it, and it surprises people.
So it's definitely not meta, like
100%.
There's a reason why it's not talked about or anything, because it's ending board. It's lackluster. It's not very good.
Yes.
But you know, this is the reasons why we're doing this, right?
Right.
We want to show people why it's not talked about, why it's not in the deck's list of people that are topping events, you know, currently.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's just not.
And you know, and I fall into the category of people who I hear people say, oh yeah, this archetype's bad, this archetype sucks, and I don't give it a second thought. I don't look into it. I don't play test with it. I just take it for what it is. And so this isn't just for you guys. This is also for myself. I want to be able to play things and really understand how the decks work and what they lack, why they aren't meta, why people aren't playing them.
This could be really good for people who go to events and maybe they play a deck like this and have never seen it or know what it does. You know, if you watch this video, maybe you have an idea and you can prepare for the deck a little better. You can negate, you know, the correct choke points, because maybe you watch the video and now you know you have an idea how the deck is, and you're not caught by surprise and just randomly lose to Melfis.
Right. Because I mean, one of the matches that I played earlier today, even I was playing against Dragma Invoked, and just because the person I was playing against, they didn't know what some of the cards did and some of the interactions, I was able to disrupt their board and then just slowly outgrind them enough to win the match. So if you catch the right person off guard and they don't know what any of this does, and you know their deck better than they know yours, you can catch people off guard.
Yeah.
But
this is really good for people to learn these like rogue decks that they've never seen.
Yeah,
just having an idea what it does, so you can understand what the deck can do, and being able to stop it at the correct time. It's really important. It's really big.
Right. Exactly.
Do you want to show us like a little bit of what what your deck looks like, so people can have an idea, and if they're want to try this deck, they can have a list to work off?
Yeah. So this is pretty much the most recent build I've been playing. 3 puppy, 3 cat, again, bounce, special from deck, bounce, search, 1 Fenny, bounce, special 1 from hand, and then I've got 3 rescue cat.
Broken cards?
Yep. 3 Amazonas Tiger. This is really underrated. Very solid card in any beast deck. 3 Hoppier Squadron. This is the one where specials synchros on your opponent's turn, so you can make Herald of the Arclight, which is right now a very good card. 2 of the Countessa guy. So this is the one you special summon by beast effect. You pop, pretty good. 1 Bambi, probably bump it up to 2. Honestly, never saw it enough. Wish I could see it more. 1 Mind Mole. When it's used as synchro for a beast type, you can draw a card. 1 Key Mouse, level 1 Beast Tuner Earth. So sometimes you just
rescue cat place
with Obedience School or Rescue Cat, and you've got some synchros there. Then I've got some pretty generic hand traps. You guys know what these do. And then Obedience School, again, special summons a lot.
Broken one-offs.
Yeah. Call by the Grave, standard. Chalice, pretty much standard right now. 1 tag, 1 hide and seek. Might bump this up to 2. It's really good card, underrated. 1 Playhouse, don't like it. I would not hate you if you cut it. It kind of sucks. And then triple Imperm. So pretty standard 40 card deck. Extra deck, I've got 2 Melfi the Forest, 1 Mom. Again, Mom kind of sucks. Sky Cavalry, battle, bounce something, get rid of some problematic cards. Generic link, or rank 2, excuse me. A lot of you Raccoon players know this guy makes the token attack equal to the biggest monster on the field, so get over some problematic stuff, at least crash into it. Double Herald of the Arclight, 1 Nat Beast, 1 Barkion, pretty standard synchros for this deck. 1 Mrs. Radiant, 1 Needle Fiber, 1 Celine, 1 Access Code. You guys know what all these guys do. And then 2 Elder Entities for Dragma. This doesn't need any explaining. You guys know what Dragma does. You know what this does. Very good. So
all right. So if you had a rating system, what would your rating system look like, and what would you rate this deck?
So if we said 1 was trash, 5 was like tier 0, I'd probably say it's like a 2. It's a fun casual deck.
You give it a 2?
I'd give it a 2. It's not trash. I would not have been able to beat a certain big head opponent, when he was playing Dragon Invoked, if this was absolute trash. I'd say it's a step above that.
Ask me what I would rate that deck.
I don't want to ask you. We already know what you would rate this deck. That's because you knew how to play Dragon Invoked and you stomped me into the ground with this. But yeah, this deck, if you're playing for fun, with some just casual, with some friends, this is a very fun deck. All right, what would you rate it?
Huh?
What would you rate it?
No, I will. If people want to know what my rating is, just leave it in the comments. I'll tell you guys my rating.
All right.
But the big takeaway from here is, learn how to play decks that maybe don't see the light of day.
Right.
Have an understanding of these decks. Learn to play against them so you're not caught off guard and then lose to them, in a tournament setting. We want to do this series bi-weekly. Weekly depends on how much popularity it gets.
Right.
We want to do recent archetypes, recent cards. We also want to take your guys' suggestions.
Yes.
Please, so if you guys want to go back to maybe 2018, 2019, then you want to do like an older archetype,
pick something that's underappreciated, we'll put it together and, we'll
give your honest opinion.
Yeah, it won't just be, here's my deck. We'll explain everything, the ins, the outs, good, the bad. Yeah. With a lot of these underappreciated archetypes, it'll be way more bad than good. But yeah, just let us know what you guys want to see. We'll put it together. We'll make it happen.
Oh, I think you forgot to mention one thing.
What's that?
What is this deck's best matchup and worst matchup?
Well, Honestly, I would say worst matchup is vague of an answer as it is. I would say its worst matchup is probably like any kind of meta deck because
Every deck.
any deck that can like push and has like beef behind it is just gonna run over this. You know, it's cool. I was ending my board, you know, with like 2 or 3 monsters on board and a couple like back row and like 4 in hand. So like I felt like I gained advantage, but that advantage doesn't matter when I'm just getting like stomped into the ground the next turn. You know.
So what would you think this deck's best matchup is?
Probably something like Battle and Boxers. You know, maybe
Sky Striker, maybe a heavy like spell deck that has no way
Oh
to like,
yeah. If you're playing like a spell deck that like doesn't play Imperm, then you're just losing. But if you're playing anything like from this century, then yeah, you're probably gonna win. But yeah, honestly, you know, all jokes aside, it was a pretty fun deck. It was cool to just kind of mess with it and just see what the deck could do. Because now I know, and that's a good thing. So
all right, great. So any questions, any suggestions, any feedback, any criticism, anything you guys want to say, let us know in the comment sections. We are approaching our 1,000 subscriber giveaway.
we're getting there.
It's going to be something really cool. So, you know, share, like, comment on the videos, let us know, and, you know, we'll announce our giveaway when it gets closer. So
Yep, sounds good.
thank you guys.
All right, thanks guys.